Are you a sleepyhead like Braylon? Then wake up instantly with our magical podcast. This show has the power to lift your spirits and make you feel refreshed for the coming hours.
No guarantee that we'll do any of this. Side effects may include immense boredom following the conclusion, a deep desire to be with the host, or want to put the dog in Andrew's background, or death.
Brought to you by Anchor, the easiest way to make a podcast.
Sportsified.
Alright, so first up, we're going to be talking about the NBA playoffs. We're just going to run through the bracket for a little bit, recap what's happened, and then we'll talk about mostly LeBron James and Trae Young. So, on the west side of the bracket, in the conference semifinals now, we have the Jazz versus the Clippers, and the Nuggets versus the Suns. The Jazz beat the Grizzlies in 5 games to get here, and the Clippers beat the Mavericks in 7 games last night. The Nuggets beat the Blazers in 6 games, and the Suns beat the Lakers in 6 games.
Now for the eastern side of the bracket, in the semis, we currently have the Hawks leading the Sixers 1-0, and Brooklyn leading the Bucks 1-0 as well. And so Philly beat Washington in 5 games. The Hawks beat the Knicks in 5 games. The Bucks swept the Heat, and Brooklyn beat Boston in 5 games.
Who do you think is going to be in the finals this year, Andrew?
That's tough. Who do I think or who do I want?
We can do
two
both.
different things.
Yeah, well, in the East side, the Sixers are at the 1 seed, but I think we have to realize that the Nets are probably the 1 seed, just because, I mean, their big three only play with each other for like 8-9 games in the regular season. So if they were healthy the entire time, they would be the 1 seed.
Yeah. For sure. So I think the Nets will be for the East. And for the West, I mean, I could see it being... I like the Suns this year. I want it to be them. I could see that happening. But really, yeah. This is a weird year.
It's important to note that the Nuggets don't have Jamal Murray. So they're just relying on Nikola Jokic and the ball movement. And so I think the Suns will win that series. Now, Jazz Clippers, I think that series kind of rides on Paul George if he goes full-on pandemic P mode like last year, or if he actually shows up. I think they have a chance of taking down the Jazz. But yeah, in the East, I think it'll definitely be the Nets. Even if Harden doesn't play for the rest of the series, I think Kyrie and KD and the role players they have can take on the Bucks. It'll be probably go 7 games if Harden doesn't come back though.
Yeah.
Andrew, you want to talk about LeBron James?
Yes, so interestingly enough, this is LeBron's first time that he has not made it to the second round.
That's crazy.
Crazy?
I mean, he hasn't made the playoffs
Lakers
every
were
year.
eliminated by the Suns, but yeah. But every time he's been in the playoffs, he's made it to at least the second round. So
Right.
it's a big moment.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, LeBron just... Do you think it's LeBron's fault, or is it the other players on the team? You know, I know Dennis Schroeder and Kyle Kuzma, they've gotten a lot of hate for how they played in the series. And, you know, kind of deservedly, especially Kuzma. And there was a point I saw a play, Kuzma just chucked up like a random shot in the paint. It was not even close. Yeah. And LeBron just like looked so disappointed.
Like there's only so far an individual superstar can get your team. Like there is a point where they can carry, but there's also the point where it becomes more of a team game, and Lakers just didn't necessarily deliver there.
Yeah, LeBron is one of the best at that, taking a team of nobodies and taking them far, but they were the 7th seed matched up against the number 2 Suns, and the Suns need credit. Like, sure, it's a 2 versus 7 series, but that's the Lakers with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and they pulled it off, and they don't have, like, superstars. They have 2 stars, right? Chris Paul, Devin Booker. They just have really good, like, team cohesion with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, you know, Jay Crowder, Mikal Bridges. DeAndre Ayton is really underrated in my opinion. They're just a well-rounded team, and I think they will take down the Nuggets in the conference semifinals.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about the Hawks versus the Sixers series?
So I'm looking at that. Yeah, that is an interesting series. Like, let me pull up some stats quick.
What Trae Young has done in the playoffs so far has been crazy.
Oh yeah, he has been.
So it was the 5-seeded Hawks versus the 4-seeded Knicks, and in the first round of the playoffs, and they won 4-1. It was a 5-game series, or not 5-game series, but it took 5 games, and they kind of dominated. Like Trae Young was just really, really good, and for all the Knicks fans hate against them, he just showed up and played, and even waved goodbye to them at the end.
Yeah, it's kind of that was a crazy showing by Trae Young. So
Trae
yeah, in this series. So yeah, I could see Trae Young and the Hawks pulling out against the Sixers. Obviously, they took game 1. So yeah, that'll be a series to watch.
Simmons is a really good defender, so I think the key matchup is Simmons' defense on Trae Young. But also how well the Hawks bigs can contain Joel Embiid.
Yeah, and I do think it's just like a team effort here. Like the better the team plays, the better it goes, because you can't just have that one person carrying. And yeah, that's where the Lakers faltered. So
all right, let's move on to the NFL. So it was a big trade, wasn't there? Pretty big trade. Julio Jones traded to the Titans with a 2023 6th-round pick.
Oh yeah.
The Falcons they received a 2022 2nd-round pick and a 2023 4th-round pick. That's the Falcons. What are they doing? So they drafted Kyle Pitts. Oh, let me start at the beginning. They restructured Matt Ryan's contract, so
I don't know.
They can't really get rid of him until after 2023. So that seems like a win-now move to clear cap space for this year, to sign bigger free agents and make trades for some better players to contend, right? And so they solidified that by drafting Kyle Pitts at number 4, tight end / wide receiver, instead of drafting a quarterback, right? But then they go and trade their franchise wide receiver, Julio Jones. Yeah, they still have Calvin Ridley, Kyle Pitts now, but they lost Todd Gurley. They've now lost Julio Jones. What are they doing? Are they trying to contend or not?
Yeah, I don't know. It is kind of random. Sorry, I didn't even realize I had a YouTube video pulled up another tab from a couple weeks ago, and it just started randomly playing, so that caught me off guard. It's like a screaming goat. I don't even know what the video was, but anyways, yeah, so it's definitely not looking too hot for the Falcons. It is a little interesting to see. I'd be curious to see what they're trying to do here, but
and their defense is not good.
Yeah.
Like they have to be carried by their offense too, and they just got rid of Julio Jones. Now on the Titans side,
exactly.
This is a really good trade. They give up a 2nd-rounder and a 4th-rounder to get who has been the best receiver in the league at times, probably top 5 now. And pairing him up with AJ Brown and Derrick Henry, their offense is going to be really, really good. Derrick Henry rushed for 2,000 yards last year.
The Titans have already been. Yeah, the Titans have already been on the rise, and they've shown some really good offensive potential over the past couple years, and this is just going to add to it.
Yeah,
they're not losing much with those picks.
In my opinion, AJ Brown's the best young receiver in the league, and the quarterback is Ryan Tannehill. He was really good last year, but he's not a quarterback you think of when you think of star quarterbacks. So I don't know if that could be an issue in Tennessee. Maybe they need a quarterback upgrade. What if they traded for Aaron Rodgers? Can you imagine that? Aaron Rodgers, Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, Julio Jones. When drafting a fantasy football league, you would just want to draft the Titans.
Exactly.
That would raffle the Chiefs. What if the Chiefs were in the mix for Julio Jones? I just can't imagine what that would be like if the Chiefs got Julio Jones. But anyways,
let's not even talk about that as a possibility. Okay.
Yeah. let's move on to some of the storylines for the NFL mandatory minicamps that are starting now. And you want to list some of those?
So I'm actually going to start off with the new QB list because there are a lot of new QBs all over the league. So there's Tyrod Taylor for the Texans, Jared Goff at the Lions, Matthew Stafford for the Rams, Ryan Fitzpatrick for the football team. It feels so weird saying that still. Teddy Bridgewater for the Broncos. He's going to compete with Drew Lock. Mac Jones with the Patriots, competing with Cam Newton. Trevor Lawrence with the Jaguars. Zach Wilson with the Jets. Justin Fields with the Bears. And Trey Lance with the 49ers, competing with Jimmy G. So, a lot of new QBs there.
The Saints, not really 3 new ones, but like they all have a chance to get the starting job after Drew Brees retired. Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston, and Ian Book. Now, Ian Book is most likely not going to get it. I'd say there's like a 95% chance he does not get that starting job. Not even the backup, but he will be the third-string quarterback. And it's really down to Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston. Taysom Hill, the $140 million man. Well, no, that's not true. But I feel it's funny to say. But what quarterback on that list do you think has the highest chance to be? I rephrase this. Who do you think will be the highest upgrade from the previous starter? I'd say probably Trevor Lawrence from the Jaguars, right? Or replacing Gardner Minshew, or it could be Justin Fields with the Bears.
I'd agree with that.
For Mitch Trubisky. Although Fields might not start right away because they signed Andy Dalton. But also Stafford with the Rams. I wonder how he'll fit there. I mean, Jared Goff he's a good quarterback, right? He's probably a league average quarterback. And Stafford he's anywhere from average to really above average. It just depends on who you ask. But I think he's a really good chance to be a great fit with Sean McVay and the Rams offense there. He could be the biggest upgrade here, but my pick right now is Trevor Lawrence. What about you?
I'd probably go with Trevor Lawrence, to be honest, because that is... I'll be honest, I forgot who the Jaguars had before, so... I forgot.
The mustache man.
Yup.
Wait, why are all of our NFL storylines just quarterbacks? I guess that's how the NFL is now, but last thing we have to talk about is, will Aaron Rodgers be there?
Who knows? Will he be there? Will he be on Jeopardy like we predicted last time?
If he doesn't show up, how is Jordan Love going to look with the Packers offense? Remember, they traded up for him to draft him at 26th overall in last year's draft, which caused a lot of speculation about Aaron Rodgers' future. But then Rodgers played, and he played very well, and he won MVP. But now he wants out of Green Bay, and so Jordan Love, they have to find out if he's the future of the Green Bay Packers. Kind of like how Aaron Rodgers was when they had Brett Favre. They drafted Rodgers while they still had Favre, learned under him, and then took over. Maybe it'll be the same with Jordan Love.
Yeah. That'll be an interesting storyline to watch. Alright, so should we move on to the MLB?
What are you doing?
Pro train whistle player now.
Oh, is that a reminder that we have to sponsorship ad? Here's a message from our sponsor, Anchor.
Hey there, Andrew Braylon here to tell you about our sponsor, Anchor.
If you've never heard of Anchor before, it is by far the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain.
No, I'll explain. I'm better at explaining anyways. So, Anchor is not only free, yes, it's entirely free, but there are also creation tools that allow me to record and edit from anywhere.
So you're telling me I can make an entire episode from either my phone or laptop?
Yup. And Anchor will distribute the podcast for you, so your audience can listen to it from Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other more podcast places.
Oh yeah, and you get that sweet, sweet moolah too. You can get paid with no minimum listenership.
That's awesome. I mean, sounds to me like it's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place.
Everything with a capital E. So why are you guys still sitting here? Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's it. ANCHOR.FM.
I mean, you should probably finish this episode first. It's pretty interesting. But still go check Anchor out as soon as you finish. Now back to the show.
For the first baseman, My pick in the American League is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. In his second year in the league, he's hitting .333 with 18 homers and 47 RBIs. Now in the National League for the first baseman, I would have to go with, where is he? Max Muncy right now. He's hitting .264 with 13 homers. Oh, that's not Max Muncy. Where'd he go? Did I just skip down a ton? No, right there. And it doesn't list it here, but he is leading the league in walks. He just gets on base a ton, and he has a really good eye to play. So Vlad and Muncy are my two first basemen. For second baseman in the American League, I'd have to go with Marcus Semien. He's added a lot more power to his game this year. He's hitting .294 with 13 homers, 32 RBIs, playing really good defense like usual. For the National League second baseman, Colton Wong, even though he only has 4 homers this year, he is hitting .280 with a .784 OPS. And it's not listing his defense, which has been really good this year. Like usual, he's an annual Gold Glove candidate. Alright, now for third baseman, Rafael Devers is hitting .275 with 15 homers and 48 RBIs. He's been really good, and he's probably leading the league in doubles like usual. I'm not sure about that, but Chris Bryant is my pick for the National League third baseman. He's hitting .309 with 13 homers and 38 RBIs. Kind of having a resurgence after he struggled in a couple of years since his MVP. At shortstop, for the American League, I gotta go with Xander Bogaerts. He's hitting .318 with 10 homers and 36 RBIs. Him and JD Martinez have made a big pairing in the middle of the Red Sox lineup. Part of the reason why they're not doing as bad as people expected this year. Now, in the National League, obviously, Fernando Tatis Jr., his second year in the league, he has been absolutely insane. Tied for the league lead in homers with 17. He's hitting .292, and his defense is otherworldly, and his swag is top-notch. At catcher in the American League, is probably the weakest position in the MLB right now. There's just not a lot of talent to choose from, but Salvador Perez is my pick, .275 with 14 home runs. And in the National League, gotta go with Buster Posey. People kind of forgot about him after he was probably the best catcher in the league for a long time. Now he's like 36 years old, but he's having a resurgence as well. Hitting .333 with 10 home runs. I'm gonna go with the outfield. As much as my Tigers fandom wants me to pick Akil Baddoo, his stats obviously aren't good enough. Gotta go with Byron Buxton. He's hitting .370 with 9 home runs. Even though he hasn't played too much, he is well deserving of it. Also, Adolis Garcia. He is a rookie who no one knew until he started hitting 16 home runs this year in his second in the league. And the last outfielder. My earbud just fell out. Hold on. Last outfielder is Mike Trout. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Trout. He's .333 with 8 homers and 18 RBIs. Now, National League outfielders. Nicholas Castellanos, .359 with 12 homers. Ronald Acuna, who is tied for the league in home runs, who has 17. He's hitting .278. And lastly, where is he? Jesse Winker. He was tied for the league in homers as well with 17. And he's hitting .350. So the Reds have 2 starting for me in the National League outfield. Now just designated hitter, who is down to JD Martinez or Shohei Ohtani for me. And I gotta go with Ohtani just because of how good he is at pitching and hitting. Now, obviously, pitching doesn't have to do with being a designated hitter, but, you know, he's just really fun to watch. So, these are my all-star picks as of now. When I vote on my own, I kind of vote Tigers players who don't deserve it at all. But, for the purposes of this is who I think should be on the MLB All-Star team. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Andrew?
I can't think of anything else.
Alright, I'm kind of out of breath after all that. I didn't take many breaths in there. You want to wrap this up, Andrew?
Sure. So, thanks for watching today's episode of Sportsified. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch our podcast, listen to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Oh, and guess what? We have a new YouTube channel. It's called Sportsified Shorts, so make sure to go check that out and subscribe to that as well. Thank you and bye.